Alright guys, welcome and welcome everyone. Pretty much today, like promised, I was gonna go through pretty much my overall bias, adding in seasonalities and COT, and that's precisely what we're going to jump into straight away. Hopefully everybody appreciated this, just a thank you towards everybody and towards overall the year 2024 as it's coming to a close. I just wanted to do something special for everyone, and just a special thank you to everyone. But let's just jump right into it. So starting off Monday right here, everybody. Looking at it, what do I think? Pretty much, yeah. From my perspective, I've already pretty much done my pre-planning and the in-depth analysis with overall the rest of the students. So I've pretty much been looking into the equal highs on the DXY, if everybody noticed them. And I think pretty much Monday and Tuesday, if CPI is going to be bearish, like I think it will be. Now, just note that all of this I'm going to say is just predictions. I could be completely wrong, alright? And if I'm wrong, overall, just don't follow it. So, what's better for you? Just follow your own predictions and don't follow mine. Instead, use mine if they are aligned towards your own predictions. So, like I said, Monday pretty much I think will be a manipulation. Tuesday will be a continuation of that manipulation or the start of the manipulation if Monday is a consolidation. So, what will I do? I will overall look for the DXY, trading up a little bit higher, right? Simple stuff, right? Now, of course, if we actually have taken out those equal highs for the DXY, I think the probability of the CPI being bearish, or it will pretty much confirm, for me at least, that the CPI will be bearish for me now. And trading now lower for the DXY, aka releases bearish, right? Bearish for the currency, bearish for the DXY, right? And that is if we take out the equal highs. Now I'm gonna show you all the equal highs, etc., etc. Just pretty much going into building the foundation towards the week, which is always what I'm doing with the news events, etc., etc. So they release at 14:30 approximately Wednesday, so midday more or less, mid London close, right? Then pretty much Thursday right here. What or there's London Open actually, but pretty much right here, what particularly I'm looking for, and it's just a continuation. So if the CPI right here were actually bearish for the DXY, which I pretty much think it will be, I think pretty much the PPI right here as well will be bearish, guys. Now this does not mean it will be, it just means I'm predicting it will be. Then of course we have Friday, and in this case I think there was high likelihood of us actually having a TGIF. So whenever price pretty much has a large expansionary Tory week, now we're talking about week to week, we'll actually encounter something called an TGIF, which is price trading up from the close, right? From the close, or from the low, towards the perceived Thursday low, if I'm gonna be precise. So imagine this week we're gonna overall look for an expansionary Tory week, a bearish expansionary Tory week to the downside for the DXY. So pretty much what I think will happen is that on Friday, Thursday low will be the start of the TGIF higher for Friday. So I think Friday, the entire Friday will be trading up higher, repricing the inefficiencies and starting a re-delivery up higher for manipulation during the next coming weeks if we're actually gonna have good price action. But we'll save that for another week, and it all depends on if I'm gonna trade or not. So Friday is real important for me as well. So I'm gonna trade over on Monday. I'm gonna trade Tuesday. Possibility I'm gonna trade CPI. We'll see what happens, but I don't recommend anyone trading it, and I don't recommend anyone trading Thursday. I'm not gonna trade Thursday as well. I'm just gonna trade Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, and then Friday as well. I'm gonna trade. So that's just what I'm looking for. Now let's just jump in towards the actual pair here. So now we are actually looking at the DXY right here, and we are actually right now on a monthly time frame. And what everybody might notice here on a monthly time frame, this zoomed out, this is the high time frames for me, all right, is that pretty much I'm thinking at least we will have a delivery down lower the next coming weeks. Looking at here, so I think possibility of this being the high is a great. However, we could also just trade up a little bit higher than this into this new week opening gap here before having the monthly expansion down lower. and I think this CPI and the PPI will contribute towards that. However, when I was actually, because I was bearish all throughout this, I was bearish here, bearish here, bearish here. Now you understand why I was bearish, because look at this, we took out previous yearly high. As you all know, previous yearly highs, if it is previous year, is time-based liquidity, right? And a lot of people were laughing at me for actually being bearish, but now, if you're actually on the monthly, if you're actually right now looking at it from our perspective, you can pretty much see a clear market maker sell model, and that's exactly what I was actually hinting towards and looking at. And as everybody can see, this original consolidation, reconsolidation, small money reversal, and now a reconsolidation period. What I think we're gonna have a delivery is that I think we're gonna have monthly periods or monthly expansionary, like months looking like this, where we're gonna have months trading down lower. So I think we're gonna have month continuing down lower like this. So something like this to the downside, right? Reaching towards this. So this more or less what I'm thinking we're gonna have, or something which I overall believe we're gonna have. So it's just my predictions again, guys. Now jumping down, because we're gonna look at how everything aligns and precisely what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for, right, is the weekly expansion to be down, right? Because I'm thinking the CPI and the PPI here will actually be the weekly expansion, aka happening on Wednesday and Thursday. And if the weekly expansion is the distribution phase, we're gonna have a manipulation prior to that. That's why pretty much I'm hinting towards Monday and Tuesday delivering up higher. And as everybody can see, if we actually deliver up higher, what's the possibility? The possibility is that we'll pretty much take the previous weekly high, because we're gonna open up a new week here. So what will end up happening if we actually take that out is that it's the previous weekly high. And why is the previous weekly high? Well, it's time-based liquidity. So what will I do? I'll look for low prices here, because it will be an STA, weekly expansionary, week later. And why am I thinking the CPI will be bearish? Well, the externals is pretty much telling me it's going to be bearish. So just looking at this right here, as everybody can see, this is pretty much a perceived original consolidation. Just note that we're actually right now in a perceived market maker sell model, and we have another perceived market maker sell model in that. So that's two major confluences as well as the equal lows here. And also that we've taken this, which of course brings us to a big STA here. So what am I looking for? Well, I think this was the perceived low risk sell, and I'm just looking for a continuation lower. So I'm just looking for us having a perceived low risk sell. This could be the low risk sell, but when we go into the daily, you pretty much notice that this is actually the equal highs I've been talking about when we actually talked about the news. So notice here, this is actually the equal highs. I think Monday, Tuesday has the great possibility of delivering up higher into these, taking this out and just sweeping them, having like a total soup, and then of course just delivering down lower. So I think it will be great. Alright, and that would be an STA. However, that's just what I'm thinking. Just note that. Alright? And you can see pretty much the reconsolidation and the original consolidation down in here much more clearer. So you can see the market maker sell model here, which looks good, right? So something like this happening, bam, and then bam. Now I'm going to show you pretty much where I would find the perceived levels for this coming week. As I said, this call will be a little bit saucy, and a big thank you to everybody. So I'm going to make it this call very special. So what I'm overall supposedly going to look for levels is, as I'm thinking we're going to have a manipulation high here, what I would more or less look for levels is, if we go jump down towards the 50-minute time frame, when we were actually here, as we pretty much swept the sell side here, I think this will be secured, and I'm gonna look for ST levels, and you can already find ST levels here. Alright, I'm not gonna give you the precise levels, you gotta figure them out yourselves, but I'm hinting towards this right here. If you look what I'm pointing towards, 105, 700, big figure level. That's a good level. And what am I gonna look for that? I think we're gonna have the manipulation starting from this Monday with an H range time-based liquidity sweep, and possibly an ST here as well, reaching up higher here towards the equal highs. Now, when the equal highs have gotten taken out, where will I look for levels? Well, I will find the first level over the equal highs here, and I would look for low prices from that perceived level just over these, because just note that this is also time-based liquidity. So notice now I always look for time-based liquidity. So on the time-based liquidity to time-based liquidity, levels to levels, ST to ST is exactly what I've been saying, like all throughout time. All throughout, all time I've always hinted towards those things, and that's precisely how I trade. That's not the STA because you don't have the externals. However, that's how I trade, guys, and it's how I became profitable. Alright, so I'm skipping all the intermediate price action. I'm just focusing on levels to levels, STA to STA, ST to ST, TPDA to TPDA as well, etc, etc. Moving on. Now you pretty much know that. Now we're gonna move towards Euro USD. But just prior to USD, looking at USD, we're going to move in towards the COT again. So going in towards the COT, what you all would notice pretty much is that we're actually still in this bullish hedging program. I was perceived to pretty much look for a bearish hedging program here. And this is the only thing I would say we're trading against. So we're still in this bullish hedging program. And like I hinted towards, I think the central banks pretty much have locked price up here. In this price level, so they can buy up foreign currency reserves, and that's just my theory towards why it's still in a bullish hedging program, while all foreign currencies is also in a bullish hedging program at the same time. And I perceive that they have locked price up here, so they can get the low foreign currency prices and buy them up. And we're gonna look at the euro, because euro is in great bullish hedging program now, while the DXY itself also being in a bullish hedging program, or the American dollar also being a perceived bullish hedging program. And I think it's still in a bullish hedging program. You can see it's over the 10,000 line right here, because I think they're locking in the lower foreign currency prices, trying to buy them up, which is then, of course, when they unlock this, pretty much gonna set the DXY rushing down lower. So you're going to see a expansionary move downwards. I don't know if that will happen this week. Possibly, because, they're going to have disguises in the form of news, which will be great. But looking at it, you can pretty much see here, they're in a great bullish hedging program. We're above the minus 100,000 line right here. Bullish hedging program. We can see pretty much they have liquidated here. A lot of people right here, they pretty much moved towards an extreme low. What does that tell you? Extreme low, liquidations, higher prices. That's exactly what I'm looking for, low prices for the DXY. Now we'll actually see if we're actually aligned with that seasonally. So you can see seasonally pretty much we're looking for December being bearish for the DXY. And that's exactly what I'm overall looking for. Alright, bearish. And then January being the reconsolidation. So bearish December, January, February reconsolidation. So going in towards the DXY again. And what everybody will notice here is that, like I said, December bearish, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Look for bearish expansionary move on a week-to-week scale lower, while February or January to February is the reconsolidation phase here. So I think price will be here at the, if you grade this with a grade price swing. So if you actually end up grading this right here, and I'm gonna just put deviations here, I think we'll end up being here, and in here I think we'll overall be in that January phase here, which will overall end up leading towards price and time being aligned. Alright, and if time and price being aligned, that's the highest probability for certain thing happening, which of course also confirms us trading down lower, because if you have time and price being aligned in one place, where you're overall perceiving it being aligned at that place, which makes total sense in logic, that's also drawn liquidity. So the 0.5, aka first fractal of this market maker sell model, is actually our draw on liquidity. Makes total sense now, guys. This is how I trade. Jumping in towards euro, pretty much I want to look for everything in reverse and or inversed. So like I said, if we go to a monthly here, you will pretty much see a perceived market maker buy model with a low risk buy opportunity right there, with the regional consolidation right here, which I've talked about Notice we'll also look into the seasonalities. Notice we've taken out this, we've just traded up higher, moved in towards the 0.5% mark of this wick, repriced that, and now I think we're going to re-deliver towards this original consolidation and this high, which of course ends up being equal highs here. So I'm just looking for perceived high prices. This is just what I'm looking for. Just jumping on towards a weekly time frame, what everybody can see here. It's just of course sell side getting taken out right here. And what I think we're gonna have is just perceived high prices with the expansionary move towards the upside. However, I'm looking for this last week's low getting swept or total souped, and I'm looking for half part of this. So if you split this wick up, and notice, isn't this strange, guys? Isn't this strange? This wick right here, with this and this being the low, is more or less aligned with the wick here. So what if you split the wick up here, and what you will end up seeing, I will do it straight here, is that pretty much you will end up seeing the perceived level, which more or less aligns with a big figure 104,500. Alright, so 104,500. That's the perceived big figure level. And you see, just over that is the time-based liquidity. And what I'm particularly looking for is just a manipulation lower, like I said, because we're looking for the manipulation higher on the DXY. Then I'm looking for that time-based liquidity getting taken out, and I'm looking for perceived higher prices reaching for the original consolidation up here. Isn't that crazy? Well, it is, because we're gonna after that have an STA reaching up higher. Hopefully, we'll see. You know, anything can end up happening. But going into the daily, what you also see is pretty much that this week overlaps with a weekly wick. Now, if you have wicks overlapping on multiple or a multi-time frame alignments on wicks, that means that those are high probability wick theory wicks, and you should grade them. You should add quadrants to them. Alright, notice what I'm giving you guys. It's crazy actually. And you can see pretty much we swept these equal highs, we traded into CB or busy for the DXY. I'm gonna go through it, and I'm just pretty much looking for Monday, Tuesday trading down lower. So what am I gonna look for? I'm gonna look for alignments in this area, from this wick high to this wick low. ST alignments up here, gonna take an STA lower here, but I'm using the ST alignments or the manipulation deviations, and I'm gonna show you one here, one examples of this, because you know when you're deviating a certain thing, alright, and I'm gonna go through the rules later when we're actually there, but when you're deviating ST, alright, you should use, if you're only deviating ST grades or the Fed wire deviations, right? If you're only using those, it should be the levels for the next given days. However, if you're aligning them with manipulation deviations, you can use those levels for that given day, because the only thing you need is 2 alignments, is 2 manipulations to give you a level. Wow, that opens up a whole new world, right? So if you're using manipulation deviations, you can use those levels for that given day if you have 2 manipulations. However, if you don't have 2 strategic manipulations, you are not going to be able to use it, and you should use the 2 previous manipulations, of course following the rules from the last video. Alright, so what I'm particularly looking for here is Monday, Tuesday trading down lower. You can see the equal lows here, you can see the wick theory down in here, you can pretty much see the half part right there, big figure level, potentially big 500 level I'm looking for. Let's see, 500 level right there, total soup of this equal low, or of these equal lows. And I think we also have equal lows here, and I'm gonna show you them on the 50-minute time frame when we actually go in and look at that. And pretty much you'll see sweep, total sweep of this, and then trading up higher. Now going into the 50-minute time frames. So 50-minute time frames, what everybody can see is these equal lows right here. These equal lows right there. And you see they're just above the big figure 500 level. So we have 104,500, and that's perceived the total sweep low, which I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a sweep of this, and I'm looking for a sweep of this. Notice now how everything goes together. And notice now if you split this, you'll pretty much see half part of this is the big figure level. Oh my gosh, half part of this new week opening up. Isn't that crazy how everything aligns? This is what I call an IPTA alignment. This is what an IPTA alignment is. Oh my gosh, what am I giving you guys? I'm giving you guys too much. But you guys deserve it. So please use the information. So what am I gonna look for? Well, I'm gonna look for an alignment in this BPR here, short there, from a time-based liquidity standpoint. So time-based liquidity getting taken out. Level here somewhere here, short. I'm gonna look for these equal lows getting taken out, buy, and then I'm gonna sell up here and a TGIF lower. So notice something like this: trade up higher, trading down to that big figure level down in here, and then buying up here, and then having the TGIF selling once again. Bam, that's my idea. So selling, buying, and selling. Wow, too much sauce this call. Anyways, hopefully this was really useful. Do the things I gave you guys in this video. I gave you guys a lot. I gave you IPTA alignments. I gave you the rules for manipulation deviations, Fed wire deviations. I gave you combinations between them. I gave you guys COT sauce. I gave you guys seasonality sauce. I gave you guys my bias. I also pretty much gave you a lot of other things. So please use those things, guys, and also the bias for the next coming years. Please use those things, and please note this down, and please listen to this multiple times, because in the future, let's say in a year, you'll look back on this video and just be like, oh my gosh, how did they know it? Well, I didn't know. I just looked at probabilities, and that's just what you gotta do yourself. Anyways, guys, hopefully and guys enjoy this 2024 playlist. It's coming to a close, and this is just a very special call. Big thank you to everybody, alright? Real big thank you to everybody, and hopefully you guys really enjoy this. Thank you all, and